जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यमुना तीरावनचारी यमुना तीरावनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Madan Mohan, Radhe. Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra. Jagannatha Swami Nayana Patagami, Nayana Patagami, Bhavatu me. Jaya Goranitai Jaya Goranitai Jaya Goranitai Jaya Goranitai Nitai Gora Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Sri Sri Gaunitai ki jai Sri Sri Radha Madan Mohan ki jai Sri Jagannath Subhadra Baladev ki jai Jai Om Vishubhad Paramahamsa Parivraj Acharya Ashtotara Sata Sri Sri Maltis Vantes et Sri Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai Jai Om Vishubhad Paramahamsa Parivraj Acharya Ashtotara Sata Sri Sri Maltis Vantes Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada ki jai Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda ki jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद की जय श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंद राधा कुंद गिरि गोवर्धन की जय वृंदावन धाम की जय मायापुर नवद्वीप धाम की जय जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय गंगा माई की जय जमुना माई की जय श्रीमती तुलसी देवी की जय श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय श्री श्री राधा मदन मोहन की जय श्री श्री गौनिताई की जय श्री श्री जगन्नाथ सुभद्रा बलदेव की जय गौर प्रेमानंदी all Gauri Sudha Sambhalivatis, all Gauri Sudha Sambhalivatis, all Gauri Sudha Sambhalivatis, all Gauri Sudha Sri Guru Sri Gauranga, all Gauri Sudha Sri Prabhupada. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasavutade, Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine, Namaste Saraswati Deve, Gauravani Pracharine, Nirvese Shasundavadi Paschata Latarne. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Nashtapayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttamasloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th Skanda, 29th chapter, sloka number 1. This is a new chapter. Title is Talks Between Narada and King Prachinabhari. Prachinabhari uvacha Bhagavan te vachaha asmabhihi na samyak avagamyate kavayaha tat vijananti na vayam karma mohitaha. Prachinabhariruvacha Bhagavanste vachosmabhihi na samyagavagamyate kavayastad vijananti na vayam karma mohitaha. Prachinabhariruvacha Bhagavanste vachosmabhihi na samyakyavagamyate kavayastada vijananti na vayam karma mohitaha. Prachinabhariruvacha Bhagavanste vachosmabhihi na samyakyavagamyate kavayastad vijananti na vayam karma mohitaha. Prachinabhariruvacha King Prachinabhari said, Bhagavan, O my Lord, te, your, vachaha, words, asmabhihi, by us, na, never, samyak, perfectly, avagamyate, are understood, kavayaha, those who are experts, that, vijananti, can understand, na, never, vayam, we, karma, by fruitive activities, mohitaha, enchanted. King Prachinabhari replied, My dear Lord, we could not appreciate completely the purport of your allegorical story of King Puranjana. Actually, those who are perfect in spiritual knowledge can understand, but for us, who are overly attached to fruitive activities, to realize the purpose of your story is very difficult. Please repeat. King Prachinabhari replied, My dear Lord, we could not appreciate completely the purport of your allegorical story of King Puranjana. Actually, those who are perfect in spiritual knowledge can understand. But for us, who are overly attached to fruitive activities, to realize the purpose of your story is very difficult. Purport Bhasivangre Sesi Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada in the Bhagavad Gita, 7th chapter, 13th sloka, Lord Krishna says, Tribir Gunamayir Bhavayir Ebi Sarvamidam Jagat Mohitam Nabhijanati Mamebhya Paramavyayam. Deluded by the three modes, goodness, passion, and ignorance, the whole world does not know me, who am above the modes and inexhaustible. Generally, people are enchanted by the three modes of material nature and therefore practically unable to understand that behind all materialistic activities in the cosmic manifestation is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Generally, when people are engaged in sinful or pious activities, they are not perfect in knowledge of devotional service. The allegorical story narrated by Narada Muni to King Bharishman is especially meant to engage conditioned souls in devotional service. The entire story, narrated allegorically, is easily understood by a person in devotional service, but those who are engaged not in devotional service, but in sense gratification, cannot perfectly understand it. That is admitted by King Bharishman. This 29th chapter describes that by too much attachment for women, one becomes a woman in the next life. But a person who associates with the Supreme Personality of Godhead or his representative becomes free from all material attachments and is thus liberated. Om Jnana Timidandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Jena Bhutale Swam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Guru Vaishnavanscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Ladita Sri Visakham Vitansya Hare Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriya Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhyaivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namah Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So from today we are starting a new chapter, number 29. The previous chapters were the description of the life of Puranjana as described by Narada Muni to King Prachinabarhishat. So this conversation continues, but from now, Narada Muni has completed the allegory and King Prachinabarhishat is asking questions. That is the next development in this conversation. So it is very elaborate, and is very instructive for all of us. King Prachinabhari is very frankly telling Narada Muni, hey Bhagavan, he calls him Bhagavan. So such a high respect he is giving to Narada Muni. Sometimes the word Bhagavan also can be given to some very high personality, pure devotee of the Lord. So we were not calling Prabhupada as Bhagavan. Otherwise, it would make some confusion in the mind of the public. Oh, you are also calling your Guru Bhagavan? Our Guru is also Bhagavan. So many Bhagavans are there. So in this age, it is better to stick to proper etiquette and give only the proper respect according to tradition. But here Narada Muni is called Bhagavan in the Srimad Bhagavatam the many thousands of years before. So there is no confusion. Narada Muni is the most exalted devotee of the Lord, traveling throughout the three worlds, going to Vaikuntha, sometimes going to hell. He goes everywhere to spread the glories of Bhagavan. He doesn't have any other mission. So he deserves this highest respect. Now, this allegorical story in the previous sloka, it was mentioned that Narada Muni, he is speaking in this way, indirect way, as was mentioned. Anyway, so the allegory was described in this manner so that even those who are not established in spiritual knowledge, who are engaged in material activities in the material world, will be able to connect with the story and will be able to understand the story easily. That was why Narada Muni used this allegorical story for King Prachinabharishad. King Prachinabharishad, as described earlier, is a great king, very pious king, but at the same time engaged in fruitive activities, karma kanda, which makes him blind to the transcendental aspect of life. So Narada Muni knows exactly the situation, and that is why he was speaking in this manner indirectly about the Supreme Lord in the form of allegory. So this story has been going on in the previous chapters, but now King Prachinabharish is telling that we are not able to understand properly your story. So even though Narada Muni tried his best, but here it is mentioned that King Prachinabhari was not able to understand properly the story of King Puranjana. This is also for our own benefit, so that again the whole story will be explained properly, and Narada Muni will make sure that King Prachinabhari will be able to understand by these elaborate explanations. So the Srimad Bhagavatam in this way is very beneficial for all of us. Even those who are not so alert and so well enlightened, they can also follow this story, and by the blessings of Narada Muni, they'll be able to understand all the aspects to be understood. Generally, it is assumed that Srimad Bhagavatam should be studied after completing the study of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. So the two are going together. And here Srila Prabhupada also is mentioning that quoting from Bhagavad Gita, 7th chapter, 13th sloka, that deluded by the three modes of nature, that is goodness, passion, ignorance, the whole world does not know me, who am above the modes of nature and inexhaustible. So this is in the Bhagavad Gita. Lord Krishna, in many other slokas also, Krishna says that nobody knows me, because I am beyond this nature. Everybody is engrossed in material nature. We are very busy trying to cope up with all the material impediments and obstacles, trying to become happy in this world, and we are forgetting the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Even if we can remember, we don't know Him. Nobody can know the Supreme Lord unless he is receiving the mercy of Guru and Krishna and Vaishnavas. Like if you take even the greatest philosophers in the West, they have come to the conclusion that there must be God. Because looking at the world, they have come to the conclusion that this world, this nature, cannot come out by chance. This only recently they have made this proposal that nature is coming by chance with a big explosion. But previously, in the Middle Ages and before that, the philosophers in the West, not to speak of Indian philosophers, they all had agreed that simply looking at nature, the wonderful nature, we can come to the conclusion that there is a personality, there is a God behind it. Nature cannot come out by chance. So that is something that everybody having a little intelligence can understand. For every effect, there must be a cause. And that cause may be the effect of another cause. And that cause again may be the effect of another cause. Now, ultimately coming to the most remote cause, that is God. As Prabhupada sometimes give the example, you have a father. Your father has a father. Your grandfather also has a father. If you go up and up in the time history, everybody in your family or anywhere will have a father. So we come to the end of time, then we'll understand there is a Supreme Father who has no father himself. He is a Supreme Father. Who is he? That we don't know. Even our great-great-grandfather, we don't know. I want to speak of the original Father. For that, to get that knowledge is not possible by making research work. It is only possible by hearing from Shastra and the bona fide spiritual master. So in the Bhagavad Gita, taking this sloka, Tribir Gunamayir Bhavair Ebi Sarvamidam Jagat Mohitam Nabijanati Mamebhya Paramabhyayam. The whole world is enchanted by the three modes of material nature. Those who are bewildered by these three modes cannot understand that transcendental to this material nature is the Supreme Lord Krishna. Every living entity under the influence of material nature has a particular type of body and a particular type of psychological and biological activities accordingly. There are 4 classes of men functioning in the 3 modes of material nature. Those who are purely in the mode of goodness are called Brahmanas. Those who are purely in the mode of passion are called Kshatriyas. Those who are in the modes of both passion and ignorance are called Vaishyas. Those who are completely in ignorance are called Sudras. And those who are less than that are animals or animal life. So this is the condition. Although life is temporary and we do not know what we are going to be in the next life, by the spell of this illusory energy, we consider ourselves in terms of this bodily conception of life. And we thus think that we are American, Indian, Russian, or Brahmana, Hindu, Muslim, etc. And if we become entangled with the modes of matter nature, then we forget the Supreme Personality of Godhead who is behind all these modes. So that is the situation of the conditioned soul. And King Prachinabharishat is also one of them, although he is very exalted personality, great king. According to this statement, kings are in the mode of passion. That is, they are very busy, very active, and they are also sometimes waging wars, and sometimes they have to make alliance, diplomacy, political dealings. It is not that they are always truthful, but at the same time their main duty is to protect the citizens and to see that all the citizens are engaged in devotional life. So for a king to be merely a great karmi like King Prachinabharishat is not sufficient. That is what Narada Muni is talking to him. Narada Muni could understand. He is a great king, but he is not enlightened in transcendental subjects. So let me give him a lesson so that he may himself become enlightened and he can enlighten others. It is said that in the past history, all the great kings who followed a particular religion, because of them, they are the first, they are yad yada charati seshta statta devetaro jana sayad pramanam kurute lokastad anuvartate, because they are the leaders. So the people in general, the citizens, will be inclined to follow such a leader. So it is seen that when the king becomes a Buddhist, then the whole country also, majority becomes Buddhist. Because they want to follow the leader. So if the leader follows a particular religion, then the common man also will follow the same. If the leader becomes Christian, then everybody will follow and become Christian. So when the king is perfectly enlightened, then this is a great boon for the whole country. The whole society in this way will be enlightened by the grace of the king. And they will avoid also sinful activities. If the king is engaged in sinful activities, then certainly the common man also will follow. So these are all the very important aspects of the story of King Puranjana described by Narada Muni, that the king should be ideal in all respects. So very frankly, the king is telling, I have listened to your story, but I could not understand properly. Maybe something he understood, but not completely. Na samyak. Here he says that na samyak avagamyate. Samyak means completely. So he may have understood a little bit, but not completely. Na samyak. If as he says, those who are very knowledgeable, Kavayasta Vijananti, then they can understand. So the story of King Puranjana is for those who are already enlightened in spiritual knowledge. They'll be able to understand properly the whole story. Those who are not enlightened, just he says, Navayam karma mohitaha. I am mohita, bewildered by karma. And therefore, I cannot understand properly. Not for me. This story is, but at the same time, he is paying all respects to Narada Muni, and he is approaching Narada Muni properly, just as a student approaches a spiritual master. So even though he is a great king, but he is paying all respects to Narada Muni, that is the proper behavior. The kings should not rule independently. They should be always assisted by brahmanas and guru. Just like if you say Nepal, formally, I think now Nepal now the style of political life is changed. But some years ago it was a monarchy, and so monarch, the king of Nepal had a guru. So we had the opportunity to meet the guru of the king, and we had a very good conversation. So that is the system in the traditional monarchy. He is assisted by brahmanas and by guru. Otherwise, he may be misled. He may be taking, but because out of passion, no, rajagun, he will decide something, and without seeing all the consequences of his actions. So he's powerful, but he should not misuse his power. He should be well regulated, and that is possible if he is approaching a guru. So now he's approaching Narada Muni, and certainly will be highly benefited by this conversation, question answer, tadviddi pranipatena, pariprasnena sevaya, upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshinaha. So that is the method. A king should approach a guru and in this way receive the enlightenment so that the whole, everyone will be benefited. But otherwise, if the conditioned soul does not approach a guru, then he will remain in ignorance. As Krishna says, Mohitam nabijanati mamebhya paramavyayam. Mohitam, bewildered. So that is the situation of every conditioned soul, that we do not have the proper knowledge, only to some extent, limited amount of knowledge, and that also is sometimes put into question. Just like it is said that a philosopher will not be recognized as a philosopher unless he defeats all the previous philosophers. It's like that, so many philosophies are there. So if you want to be recognized as a philosopher and be respected in a society, you have to establish a new philosophy. So that is in the material world, it is like that. So what is the ultimate conclusion? We cannot ascertain what is the truth. All the great philosophers, they have defined the truth according to their own speculations. And in this way, they have been glorified by ordinary people. So we have to take knowledge only from the reliable source. Lord Krishna, Srimad Bhagavatam, Vedavyas, they have written this Vedic literature so that to enlighten the conditioned souls who are lost in the material world. As soon as we reach the material world, we are covered by these three gunas. And because of this, we are not able to understand what is beyond this world. We are captivated by this material world. We cannot go beyond it. So that is when we come to this human form of life, we have to perfect our life. And human life is only meant for the purpose of transcendental realization. So we have to adopt the proper method of approaching the spiritual master and the Shastras so that we can perfect our lives. Just like otherwise we are completely in darkness. Like those who go to cinema, movie, they go to the cinema house, they enter the room, it is completely dark. And at the end of it, there's a screen where there's some story is going on the two dimension on the screen. Everybody is captivated what's happening on the screen. They have no idea what's happening outside. They have no idea. They are lost. They are covered. Their knowledge or their desire is completely overcome by this cinema. So like that, this is cinema going on everywhere. The three gunas, they are displaying there on the screen the material world, and we are captivated by that, either in the mode of goodness, passion, or ignorance. But even in goodness also, we cannot go beyond a certain stage of knowledge. We are also captivated by material knowledge or by material happiness, like that. So Lord Krishna says, therefore, in the Bhagavad Gita, that not pevaham jatunas, no, he says that, anyway, he said, only those who have exhausted their sinful activities, yesham tuandagatam papam jananam punyakarmanam, ye dvandva moha nirmukta bhajante mam dridavataha. Ye, so tu antagatam papam, only those who have finished with their sinful activities, those who are free from sinful activities, they are well established in pious activities, and they are freed from the dualities of this material world, happiness, distress, heat and cold, and so on, all the dualities of this world. We are beyond that. Those who are beyond that, bhajante mam dridavataha, they can engage in my devotional service in a steadfast manner. So that is everything Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. What is the condition of the living entity in this world, and how to overcome ignorance by connecting with the Supreme Personality of Godhead through the spiritual master. So that is the instruction given by Arjuna, given to Arjuna by Lord Krishna. So in the end of the Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna has heard all the 18 chapters, and he is telling Lord Krishna that now my doubts have been cleared. I will follow what you have said, your instruction, I will follow. I have understood. So Arjuna is also Kshatriya, but he is a very close friend of Lord Krishna. So he has a special ability and special mercy of Lord Krishna. So he could understand Bhagavad Gita. Otherwise, if he had not understood Bhagavad Gita, even then Lord Krishna would be ready to repeat all the arguments and the whole philosophy of the Gita. Krishna wanted Arjuna should understand it. He is ready to repeat it. A spiritual master is so compassionate, he is ready to repeat again and again the same instructions. Like somebody was telling me, I have read your Guru Maharaj Bhagavad Gita and I've gone through it, but you see, why the same thing again and again? Your Guru Maharaj is writing in the commentary, in the purpose, all the slokas, Guru Maharaj is writing, Krishna consciousness is the only solution to the problems of life. You take any sloka, only Krishna consciousness is the solution. Lord Krishna will describe what is Hatha Yoga, what is Jnana Yoga, Karma Yoga, but Prabhupada will always only explain Krishna consciousness. So he was complaining to me, why your Guru Maharaj, I cannot understand. What kind of commentary is this? Only Krishna consciousness. Then where is the Bhagavad Gita? Where are the teachings? Where did they go? So like that was his complaint. So I told him that just a repetition, Prabhupada says somewhere, a repetition of essential instruction is never a fault. It cannot be a fault. Essential instruction should be repeated. And that is to be considered as the best commentary, the highest commentary. There are different types of commentaries. Some commentaries will focus only on that sloka. They will not see the entire Bhagavad Gita. Only one sloka, they will give some comment. That is one type of commentary. Srila Prabhupada commentary is called Samadhi commentary. He is completely engrossed in the conclusion of Bhagavad Gita. Therefore, all the slokas are simply meant to bring out the ultimate conclusion. Sarvadharman parityaja, mam ekam saranam vraja. That is the ultimate conclusion. Every sloka is meant for that. In some of the books commented by Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, he is telling that he is writing that we can divide the two types of commentaries or explanations. One explanation is called Agya Rudhi, and another explanation is called Vidvat Rudhi. Agya and Vidwan or Vidvat Rudhi. Agya means according to ordinary common sense, ordinary meaning of the word, which even the children can understand. They will not try to understand something higher than that. Whatever ordinary meaning, that is Agya Rudhi. And Vidvat Rudhi is the commentary or the explanation given by those who are enlightened, those who know the conclusion of the big scriptures, those who are devotees of the Lord. They give the commentary according to Vidvat Rudhi, according to the conclusion. So that is, Prabhupada is everywhere. Vidvat Rudhi is being given, and that is for our proper benefit, because we are always forgetful. That is, the material life means forgetfulness. Every time, every day, not only every day, every hour, every minute, every second, we have to be reminded about the ultimate goal of life. We have to be reminded about Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna is beyond this world. He is the creator, maintainer, destroyer. Lord Krishna is everything. We have to think of Krishna always, every moment. Satatam kirtanto mam yatantascha dhridavrataha namasyantascha mam bhaktya nitya yukta upasate. I've mentioned many times, maybe you were not there, so I can tell again that when Srila Prabhupada was here, he was giving a lecture. And at the end of the lecture, one from the audience, somebody raised a question. And he tell Swamiji, uh, the temple very beautiful and very good for the Hyderabad. People can come here and spend their time in the temple. This is a very good temple. Thank you very much to have established this temple. But Swamiji, I'd like to know something higher from you, some higher teachings. This may be temporary, coming and going, people are coming, going, puja is going on, sometimes morning, evening, so that is temporary. But I want to know what is the higher teachings. Please tell me, what is your higher teaching? And something you tell me that which is eternal, constant, instead of something which is temporary. So he was considering the temple to be temporary place. But Srila Prabhupada told him that, quoting from Bhagavad Gita, Satatam kirtanto mam yatantascha dhridavrataha namasyantascha mam bhakta nitya yukta upasate. Nitya yukta upasate. Prabhupada repeated in the audience that person is doing like, no, Swamiji, Swamiji, Nitya Yukta Upasate, Prabhupada, at least 3 times he repeated, so that he could clearly, no, it has to go inside the brain. Nitya Yukta Upasate. Permanently, always, at all times. This temple is established for that purpose. At all times, 24 hours a day, we should remember Lord Krishna, thinking of Krishna, chanting Hare Krishna, worshipping Lord Krishna, bowing down to Krishna, and so on. That is the purpose of this temple. That is the purpose of Srila Prabhupada's teachings, the teachings of Narada Muni, and so on. So we can end here this sloka. Any other questions or comments? Okay. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.